All right, hey guys, this video is going to go over rational exponents, the second day of information. So we didn't get to a few things in class yesterday. So I'm going to go over those things in your packet, and we're just going to do a couple examples together. And then after this video, you'll have the rest of the time to practice. So please make sure you have your packet out, pencil, and a calculator. So quick refresher from yesterday, we learned that if we have, we'll just do a power of 8. If we have a number to a power with a fractional exponent, we learned that that bottom number tells you what root you're taking, okay, or what index it is, and then the top number tells you to what power. So if I was going to write this in radical form, we learned yesterday that this means I'm taking the cube root of 8 and then I'm squaring it. So the cube root of 8 is 2, and then if I do 2 squared, that is 4. Another way that we did learn to write this is you could also write the cube root of 8 squared. That would give you the same answer because 8 squared is 64, and then the cube root of that is 4. So either way, we get the same answer, but this is written in radical form, which is what we learned yesterday. So we're kind of going back and forth between the two. So we're going to do some examples, evaluating and then converting between radical form and exponential form. So if you guys can open up to page 20 in your packet, let's just quickly, we'll fly through most of these, but we'll do a few examples. So could you write, if I give you a problem that's in exponential form, could you write them in radical form? So let's go ahead and just pick a couple to try. So why don't you guys try A, C, and E real quick, and then I will put the answers up. All right, so letter A, you should have, you're taking the fifth root, and then you should have x here, and then the squared can go on the outside or on the inside. Letter C, again, your base is 6, so your radicand is 6, that goes on the inside. Eighth root, and then to the third power, that top number. Again, the 3 can be inside right here as well. Okay, and then the last one, I really want to talk about E. The P, this is the only thing that has the half power to it. So that's basically saying, hey, I'm taking the square root of P, and then I'm just multiplying it by 3. So I just put that 3 on the outside. You do not need the little square symbol. You can just leave it like that, because if there's not one there, it just implies that it's the square root. All right, let's go to page 21. So our next page. Now could you go the other way? If you go to example 2, could you write those in exponential form? So why don't we try letter B, letter D, and letter E. She can pause the video and then I'll put the answers up in a second. All right, if we try letter B, we should have C is my base or my radicand. It's to the 5th power and it's the 9th root. So there, C to the 5/9. Okay, this one, okay, I can write 7k squared. I can write it with parentheses, and then it's just to the half power. Okay, now we talked about this one yesterday, actually. You could also write that as 7 to the half power, and then if you did a power to a power here, that would just turn into k. That would be fine as well. Okay, and then the last one, it's p to the half power, and then it's just times the 8 out front. Okay, so if we go down to the check, let's try letter D. Actually, why don't you try all 4 of those real quick, just for some quick practice. All right, so letter A, I would say this whole thing is in the square root symbol, so I would say 16p. I would have to put parentheses to the half power. Or you could write 16 to the half and p to the half, but since the whole thing is in there, you would need to write that in exponential form. Now, some of you maybe said, well, could I just do what the square root of 16 is, which is 4, and then put p to the half? That would be fine as well. All right, letter C, I would do p to the half and then times that 8 out front. Letter B, that's just saying I'm taking the square root of 34. And letter D, it says I'm taking the square root of 3p. All right, the next thing I want to just touch base on real quick, and you likely talked about this last year, is on page 22, that little paragraph. I want to talk about this because I'll just kind of explain it. If I asked you guys to square root of 9, you could say, well, it's 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Is there another number, though, that equals 9 if I multiply two numbers? So 3 times 3 is 9. You guys learned last year that also negative 3 times negative 3 is also a positive 9. So there are really, if I ask you the square root of 9, there are really two roots. There's positive and there's negative 3. You can write it like that. And we'll talk about this more next week when I'm back. But if I'm just doing, this is called, if I just do the positive one, that's called the principal square root. Okay, we're just working with those today. We're not going to worry about the negative square root. So we're just going to worry about the principal one, the positive one, unless it's a cube root. If it was like negative 27 on the inside, then I would want to write, well, there's only one answer to that. It's negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. So again, we're only worried about principal square roots, which are the positive ones when we are working with those today. Same thing if we were doing like the fourth root of something, the fourth root of, it doesn't 16 or anything, I would still just want the principal square root, so whatever the positive answer is. All right, next thing, if you guys go to page 23, Bayport has included kind of a nice chart that you can use when you're solving some of these problems instead of always using your calculator. I showed you guys how to use your calculator yesterday, so if you can help people that were absent, but otherwise you can use this chart. So here's how it works. If I was saying my base was 1 and I was taking it to the second power, the answer is 1. Okay, then if I was doing 1 to the third power, the answer is 1. 1 to the fourth power, the answer is 1. Now, the 1 column's not that helpful, you know that. So if I was going to 2, if my base was 2, this would be saying 2 squared is 4. 2 cubed is 8, right? So this is telling you what power. 2 to the fourth, it's like a multiplication chart. 2 to the fourth power is 16. 2 to the fifth, 32. 2 to the sixth, 64. 2 to the seventh. Same thing here. If I was doing 6 to the fourth power, it's 1296. 6 to the sixth power, 46,656. So you can use this chart if you want to help you solve some of the problems today. Okay, so now you're going to do just a little bit of calculator practice or use that chart up above if you want. So if I was asking you to do the fifth root of 243, you can find just 243 on the chart if you want. See if it's there anywhere. I'm looking at the chart real quick. I see it. That you could use that, or I showed you guys yesterday how you type in the fifth root of 243. Remember, you're going to be looking for a button that looks like this on most calculators, and then you're doing the fifth root. So if you practice typing that in, make sure you can solve it. If you cannot remember how to use your calculator, please ask somebody in the class because they'll be able to help you figure it out. So I want you to, right now, you try all 8 of these problems to make sure you can type them in. I'll give you a little bit of time, and then we'll push play and put the answers up. All right, so if you look at these answers, for the first one, you should get 3. B, you got 5. C is 2. D is 7. And then you get 4, 3, 12, and 9. Now, if you were not figuring out how to type this in on your calculator, please ask someone next to you. Now, on the calculator I was using, I had to type in the number, like 625. Then I hit this button, the second button, and then that, and then I typed in like the fourth root, and then hit equals. Now, some of you have to type in the fourth root first, do second, and then find that button, and then hit 625, and that gives you the answer. So it just depends what calculator you have. All right, let's go down to the bottom of page 24 and just try a couple more, just for practice. So if I was going to do 729 to the 5/6 power, remember that means I'm doing the 6th root of 729, and then I'm taking it to the 5th power. Remember on your calculator, if you're taking something to the 5th power, it's either that button, the caret button, or x to the y, and then to the 5th. So if you are having a hard time, again, please ask somebody in this class so that we have it. So go ahead, type that in right now. I'll do it as well. So I'll do 729. I'm doing the 6th root. Oops, if it lets me. I get 3, and then I do 3 to the 5th power, which is 243. So my answer to that is 243. Now again, some of you might want to do, you have an option, you can do 729 to the 5th first, and then do the 6th root. That is also fine. Okay, so let's try letter B. If we do 36/49 to the 3/2 power. So remember, that means I've got 36/49 square root, and then whatever that is to the 3rd power. So if I was doing this one, I would just kind of do the square root first. So what's the square root of 36? 6. Square root of 49 is 7, and then to the 3rd power. So 6 cubed and 7 cubed. So if you do that, I get 216, and 7 to the 3rd is 343. So there is my answer. Okay, let's try one more. You guys try letter C. All right, so we've got 16th. We're doing the 4th root and then to the 7th power. So if I do 16, the 4th root was 2, which I knew, and then to the 7th power is 128. All right, let's go to page 25 in your packet, and I'm going to have you try a couple of these real quick. I don't think we need a ton of these, so I'm going to have you pause the video and try a few of these. So let's try letter F. Let's try letter G. Let's do H, D, N, J, and O. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So why don't you guys go ahead and try those problems. You may try them with a partner. So you can get with a partner, try those 7 problems. You can do them on the whiteboard or on your own, and then you can check with the answer key. Just get it from the sub. I left a couple answer keys. When you're done with that, you're going to grab some worksheets that are going to be your homework that you can work on. Again, you can work on with a partner. I left some answer keys as well for you to check. And if you finish that, there is a quizzes in Schoology game that you can play. That is not homework. So again, you do need to do page 25, the ones we circled. When you're done, you can do them with a partner. You check your answers. Okay. When you're done with that, you can grab a worksheet, your homework assignment from the sub. And I left some keys for that. And then quizzes game is extra. We'll go over all of this again on Monday when I'm back as a quick refresher to make sure you feel good. But hopefully after all of this practice, you're feeling pretty good on it. I'll see you on Monday.